In this video, I want to share a little bit more about why most gatherings suck. And hear me out. Don't jump on me yet. We're going to talk about why a lot of gatherings, anywhere from weddings to company gatherings to even birthday parties, why they're not living up to the hype that they used to. Like you go there and it's like, oh my God, is that all that there is? So we'll talk about it. What I will share is I'm going to use this example. Coming out of this week, I went to, we had a company offsite. Company's about 70 to 80 folks. And the 70 to 80 folks, we all went to Portland for about 3 to 4 days. And it was fun. It was fun to be in a new city, and it was fun to be around folks that I hadn't seen before. But I couldn't help but on walking away feeling, is there all that there is? Or isn't anyone else thinking that like there should be more? Like it felt like there could be more. And so I want to share a little bit more about just some of the research I've done and some of the events that I've put on. And as I said, we walked away feeling we did have happy hour, we did meals together. We imagined we had the entire company together in one location, and we still felt like there was more that could have been done. And so that's what I wanted to talk a little bit more about today. Based on my research, I'm going to share about 3 or 4 things that I think could have made the event a little bit better. And I'll show you where I got some of the research from. And hopefully, this will help you in your next company offsite to do a little bit better. Give me 1 second, I'm going to turn around my screen. So I want to talk about this book, and if many of you haven't gotten it before, it's called The Art of the Gathering: How We Meet and Why It Matters. And this is mainly by Priya Parker. She's done an amazing job of talking about, just how we meet, having a purpose, and just some general guidelines. I'm going to definitely check out our website. Just some amazing stuff there, especially one on wedding that I think will be great. It's just priyaparker.com, so please check it out. But she also gives this high level guideline. And it's 4 to 5 areas that she mentions that every event should have, or every great event should have. Number one, it is how do we identify your purpose of the event? You want to make your purpose bouncier. You want to make sure you designate or design your invitation to persuade. So it's like, who do you invite and who you not invite, and how do you roll with that? And I think the one that's probably going to be most relevant to what I have to share is this idea about how do we create an alternative world? And then the big thing one of the things that I also thought I was missing in what we're doing is how do we close with intention? So the big thing is every event that we want to put on, that we want to make sure that's meaningful to folks, we want to make sure we're identifying the purpose, make the purpose bouncier. You want to design the invitation so people know what to expect with storytelling. Of course, we want to create an alternative world. Like when people show up to our event, what are they getting that's outside of what's the norm? And then obviously we want to close with intention. So I do think that when a lot of folks come together, a lot of, I would say, companies, they try to think about, okay, coming together, and I could even talk for my company, and a lot of what I've heard, it's, okay, this will help us to foster greater collaboration. And I do think there's something there. I think there's something that will help you to foster greater collaboration. However, just saying that is your theme or your purpose, you have to see how it goes. It's just like you can't just say something is the purpose and then when you show up, it doesn't actually align with all the things that you want it to do. And so if you say your purpose for us gathering is to foster greater collaboration, how is it that everything that you've done throughout the next 3 days is going to help you to foster collaboration? As I said, one of the things that was really cool was just getting to see folks, right? If it's just, hey, we're just showing up to meet the people that we've been working with for the last year, but we haven't seen face to face, then I thought it was a success. But if it's, hey, we really do want to generally foster greater collaboration and work together, we should have, I'm thinking maybe we had something to understand. How do we work together? Like, what is your working style versus my working style? So that's one of the first things, is this idea of when you do have a purpose for the event, it then talk about the entire event should then flow into that purpose. So that's the first piece we talk about. Like, what is the purpose of your event, and what are some things that throughout the event, the next couple of days, that like align back to that purpose. The other thing that's simple for me is that different people are arriving at different times. And I do believe that there's an important thing when you arrive at something, it's like you're going to a ball, or I call it crossing the threshold. The moment you cross the threshold, you should feel like I am here. And there are different parts of that. It could be you're coming into the airport and you have someone picking you up, or it could be you checking into the airport. Checking into the hotel. These are moments, key moments and point where you can reiterate your purpose and said, here's why we're gathering. This is something special. This is the meaning why we're gathering. So as you said, let's say our goal was to foster collaboration. We know that different people show up and meet differently. So maybe there's a welcome card at the hotel for you. It's like, hey, welcome to the event. We've been waiting for you. We've had everything outlined for you. There's just different things. There's a lot of stuff that was up in the air, and sometimes you're going from meetings to meetings. It didn't feel like it flowed, or it didn't feel like these things were thought through. So these are just things that we've started to think about. It goes as to saying, throughout the event, who is carrying the theme? Like, is there a takeaway from each session? Is someone taking pictures? What are those pictures for? What are there moments of reflection? And then the last thing we talk about is, how do we end? Like, how do we make sure that, like, what the thing that we come here to do, and if we've done it well, we're closing it. It's like a movie. We're leaving the movies. Like, now the curtains are coming up. We're leaving the stage. I want people to go back out in the world, share, hey, what's one reflection? How will they take what they've learned today and take it onto the next thing? These are just some ideas. I hope you're starting to think about this in your next gathering, because I do believe that as amazing things can happen when you approach events with intentionality. And I just use this example from a perspective of me going to a company event, but it could be you planning a birthday party, a team dinner, could be a wedding. But definitely check out Priya Parker's work. She's an amazing author, and I think she has a podcast, and I think she has this new course coming out. Definitely check it out. I've learned a lot from it, and I think if we all are more mindful of how we meet, imagine what more can come out of this.